Kind of creepy out here, don't you think? This can't be good. This really can't be good. Hey guys, welcome to the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X and today we are reviewing a brand new piece to the Extreme collection. Wait a minute, Mr. X, you are on a buying freeze. I didn't buy this piece. I traded it. Damn straight. And this was an unintentional trade. Somebody actually reached out and said, hey, I know you like werewolves. You have this piece. Are you selling this? And it ended up being a great trade. Hopefully. They actually received their piece today, so I hope everything went well. But this is officially by Pop Culture Shock Toys, 1/4 scale American Werewolf in London. While I know this isn't the greatest piece in the world, it's from one of my top 3 favorite werewolf movies. My other two being The Howling, as some of you know, because I actually have a statue from Pop Culture Shock Toys on The Howling. You can actually check out the review. And the last one, someone needs to make a werewolf statue from Stephen King's Silver Bullet. And if you've never caught American Werewolf in London and you like comedy and you like horror, you are totally missing out. It is an awesome movie where two friends go vacationing in London. And they are attacked by a werewolf. And as you see here, the werewolf isn't your standard, I stand on 2 feet, I'm 7 feet high, but they still walk on all fours. So the friends are attacked by a werewolf. One of them actually dies and becomes a zombie that revisits the one who survived, who then becomes this werewolf right here. And they have one of the most awesome transformation scenes, especially for the time that it came out. And now that I have this piece in hand, I probably will try and watch the movie sometime this weekend. But before we dive into this review, we're doing a few contests. First, check this out. On our road to 20,000 subs, we are giving out this Mortal Kombat statue at 12,500 subs. All you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification and stay tuned for that giveaway. So some basic background about this piece. Like I said, it was distributed by Pop Culture Shock Toys, and it's been a while. I want to say a minimum of 3 years, if not 5 years ago. And I believe they made 600 of them. 300 were the collectors or the regular edition, and then 300 were the exclusive, which is what I have now that has a switch-out head we'll look at in design. And they retailed right around $400. Nowadays, they do sell for a little bit more than that, depending on the piece and whether it's an exclusive. And one of the reasons I agreed to the trade is, while there's one big thing I'm not a fan of on this piece you're going to find out, I think it can be fixed. So let's start the review with concept, as we always do. Now, because this is a movie piece, we want to say, is it accurate to the movie? Does it look cool? Does it embody the movie? When you look at it, now instead of starting at the bottom, we're starting at the right, and he is walking down these stairs, and I don't remember what this ties to in the movie, if anything specific at all, because it's been a few years since I've seen the movie, so I'll have to check that out. I do remember the first time he transformed was actually in the living room of the girl he was kind of seeing. And as he terrorized the streets, there may have been a scene where he was walking down. If you know, go ahead and put it in the comments, but he's walking down these standard wooden stairs. There's actually a symbol on the back I'll show you during paint and sculpt, and he's very much prowling, almost like he's sneaking up on some prey. And as I said, there are 2 different head switch outs on this exclusive we're going to look at. Fully sculpted hair, and this just really embodies the fact, like I said, he's prowling, he's sneaking up. Even with both portraits, right now I'm displaying the exclusive where his mouth is a little bit more closed, but he has blood all over it, so maybe he just killed his prey. He's stepping off the stairs. So it is not necessarily, I would say, a museum pose where he's posing for a picture, and it wouldn't necessarily be an action dynamic pose. It's kind of somewhere in between. And I like what they did with some of the design stuff we're going to talk about. So what's cool about this is concept-wise, you know, most werewolves, as I said, they kind of stand on their hind legs. They're tall, where this is a wide statue. And I think they captured from the movie, it's obvious it's from American Werewolf in London if you've seen the movie. I like the fact they didn't throw any nameplates on there. You know how much I hate nameplates. And I like the fact that it's different. But with that being said, I don't think it's anything unique, amazing. There is some engineering in there, but that did run into some design issues we'll talk about. So I just think the concept is average. It's 3 out of 5, which is very good. And again, I call good average because on a statue that costs hundreds or thousands of dollars, I think average should be good. Design, let's do the dimensions first because I forget those so much lately. It is about 21 1/4 on the width, if you want to call it that. And then I don't know if you call this the depth. It's about 7, although his snout sticks out a little bit more. and he's about 10.5, a little more inches high. So I'm putting him with my movie collection, which is essentially going to be this room completely. I'm in the middle of redoing quite a few things. And with the unboxing, there were some interesting obstacles, so let's check that out. Actually, pretty small box, surprisingly, so packed really well. The art box is really neat. So here's a front picture, and then the back picture as well, kind of showing the whole statue. And here is the first layer. So there are actually only 3 pieces to this, so you think this would be a very quick and easy assembly video, but it was not, because the pegs did not go in. Now what's interesting is, you know, the buyer sent me, or the seller or the person I traded with, sent me pictures and there was no issues. And a lot of people have this problem, so I did want to address it a little bit. Hair dryer works wonders. This is a hair dryer that we keep in the basement specifically for statue issues like this, especially with extreme temperatures. So right now where I live, it's about 95 degrees, and I think the guy where he shipped it from is the same climate, but if this sits in a delivery truck for a few days, it can definitely affect small things like this. And you want to be really careful because a hair dryer doesn't make the piece malleable, like you can twist it like it's putty. It just gives it a slight little give so that you can actually do your best to maybe move it a millimeter or two, which is typically all that's needed and what worked here. And after I used the hair dryer and a little bit of pressure, it popped right in, as you see right there. Now another small issue, it came with a small break. One of the toenails on the left front paw was broken off during shipping, even though it was packed really, really well. So you're going to see me go ahead and glue that back on right here. Just use some Loctite super glue and held it on for about 60 seconds. You see me talking to Senior X because he's out visiting right now. And then, of course, the final was the head. Now let's take a closer look at the 2 portraits. So first here's the regular, or the collector's edition. His mouth is wide open. This comes with all the different portraits. And what's interesting is I like this one better. But then here's the exclusive. I like the fact this one has blood on it, and I think the paint job is better in the mouth. So I like the paint job better on this one, but I like the position of the collector's edition more, which we'll talk about further during paint and sculpt. There is a nasty seam line on this. Obviously, you have a portrait switch out, so check it out. You know, the fact that it's sculpted fur kind of makes up for it and can cover it up some. So I wouldn't say it's that horrible, but I would have personally preferred no switch outs, one whole piece together. So with design, there is a little bit of engineering going on, which I do appreciate, but as you saw, that actually caused problems. You have the seam line. So realistically, the design on this, I think it's a 2 out of 5. You know, it's not Pop Culture Shock Toys specialty. It's not horrible by any means, but there's definitely some opportunity. It's not average. Now let's dive into paint and sculpt, and you'll see some more stuff here that I'm a little bit disappointed by. Let's look at the stairs here. I think these are done really well, both the paint and sculpt. Starting at the back, here's that symbol I was talking about. It's some grapes and some rope. I'm not sure what this implies, but you also see like kind of some damage on here, and this is sculpted in. And I like the different colors of brown and gold that they use kind of all throughout the stairs. It makes it look really good, kind of this antique wooden look. And on the side you have these slats running up and down, and again some more damage. Looks pretty good actually. I like the top of it too. It has this texturized surface with a little bit of black and almost kind of a maroon color, maroon red mixed in there to highlight it so it's not the same monotonous tone throughout. Let's look at his paws here. These are very wolf-like paws. On his hind legs here you can see the nails look really good. They have this kind of shiny enamel type color on them with this brown and white mixed in. And these are really like canine legs. You can definitely tell, especially with how it's perched. Check out his front legs here. What I like about these are the elongated fingers, which is one of the big parts of the transformation scene, both on the right and the left, more so on the right. But very cool. Looks very good. Really quick, I want to look at the fur. The fur is okay. The sculpt of it's okay. The paint of it's okay. There's definitely some missed opportunity. Like I said, I have their howling piece. I think they did a lot better with the sculpted fur on that. There's some areas in here where it's kind of flat, where it almost looked like they said, nah, we don't need to sculpt any right there. And then if you look at the overall body size of him, I think it's very accurate to the movie. It's huge, very broad chest where it's skinnier towards the back, which is kind of typical sometimes with wolves. So I think that was done very well. His tail, he doesn't really have one, which I don't know if this was accurate to the movie or not, so I'll have to check that out. I assume it was, otherwise licensing wouldn't have been granted, but I could be wrong. And the color's okay. They should have added some more shading in here because it's almost too much of the same. Let's look at his exclusive portrait first. So what I like about this, you almost feel like there's a human element when you look at the eyes, but he has these nasty orange yellow eyes that are kind of piercing, gazing. Looks really good. I think the fur's done a lot better on the portrait, which is extremely important. They have a little bit of a glistening effect around his nose, which is great. Very wolf-like, very canine-like. And then the blood paint here isn't the best. It looks kind of splotched on. So this is where I'm disappointed with the paint in this, as you guys can see, but I think Mrs. X and her new painting career can actually make some improvements on this. But I do like the way it's splattered. I just don't like the coloring they used. It doesn't look like realistic blood. It doesn't look like fake blood. It just looks okay. But I like what they did with towards the back of the mouth on here a lot better than the front incisors and canines. What I'd really like to see is this collector's portrait. The whole inside of the mouth needs to be redone, whether you do it with blood or not. The tongue, they could have used some texture on the tongue, some glistening effect, and the color of pink they used was a big mistake. The teeth look okay. It's funny, the nails look a lot better. I think they should have used some different coloring in here. I like the sculpt on it. I like the sculpt on the portrait, this portrait, a lot better, but it's really the paint that's lacking, especially on the inside of the mouth here. They do have a small glistening effect, which is smart, but it would have been cool if they added some more drool, I think. Let's start with Sculpt and grade that. You know, like I said, a lot of missed opportunity. Look at all the hair that's missing right here. But the rest of it, I think, is pretty movie accurate and pretty decent. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 out of 5. A very good, very nice, very average. Paint, though, I think is a miss on this piece. The base looks good. The wolf, like I said, they should have used more shading. You saw my suggestions on the mouth. I think it's a 2 out of 5. It's an ugly on the paint. And I know I've probably got some thumbs down now for a few reasons. One is some people really love this statue, and it's like, Mr. X, you're not giving this good grades. And two, why would you trade for a statue like that? First of all, I think there's some nostalgia tied with this statue, which actually makes me like it a lot more. So we get to the final overall score. Does this have the X factor? No, it's not a 5 out of 5 statue. But I like it a lot, and I think it's unique, and you're not going to find too many statues from this movie. And I think they captured the movie really well. So because of my love for the movie, I really like this statue. I still give it a 3 out of 5. It's nothing super fancy. You know, Pop Culture Shock Toys generally isn't a high-end statue. But this one, from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, flips a lot more than the original price usually. So I think that says a lot about it, and it has a lower edition size, which helps. Which brings me to the final contest we're doing, is comment on this video, and specifically, if you guys want to throw out a statue you have that most people would think is average or give some lower scores to, but you really like it, like I feel about this statue, let me know what statue that is below. That also enters you into a monthly drawing where you can get an extreme prize, a little gift packet sent to your house. But a big thank you to the guy that we did the exchange with. I love it. He's going to look fantastic with my movie pieces. I wouldn't say I love it, but I like it a lot. And I think if I can get a repaint done, then I will truly love it. Don't forget to put the comment below of what piece you have that you think is great and a lot of people think is underrated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that Mr. X logo or check out some of these other pieces from Pop Culture Shock Toys in the playlist. Until tomorrow, take care.